Hey, why are your gaming laptops so big? It's not about the size, but how you use it. I know Kung Fu. Show me. I took the red pill, you took the lancer. Woman pun iyang, ko punya berat, ko punya padat. Woman pun sayang, there is no spoon, it's incognito, no way, okay, they can worsen. I got that one, got that Neo. Goodbye, Mr. Anderson. So this Predator Helios Neo 14 is priced at 7,799 ringgit and comes with an Intel Core Ultra 9185H processor, an RTX 4060 with 8GB of GDDR6 VRAM, as well as 32GB of DDR5 memory and a single but swappable 1TB M.2 SSD. That seems pretty reasonable for a mid-range gaming laptop. I personally beef up that graphics card to an RTX 4070 and lower that processor to an Intel Core Ultra 7 for gaming purposes. But we'll get to performance in a bit. And because everything has AI now, this new Meteor Lake processor has a dedicated Intel AI Boost NPU. As far as gaming is concerned, the RTX 4060 does support DLSS 3.5 for frame generation and upscaling. Again, more on that later. At first glance, the Neo 14 is pretty low-key for a gaming laptop in what they call abyssal black. Just the way I like my coffee. Not too sweet for me. There are some diagonal geometric design that connect the mostly aluminum chassis with the plastic back. You can also customize the RGB Predator logo on top to flex your gamer status. In terms of build quality, the keyboard deck and edges being one solid piece makes it super rigid with minimal flex. The hinges are firm but smooth and the screen opens up pretty wide but not all the way down. That's what she said. Not I write one. Anna. Weight-wise, it's on the higher end for a 14-inch gaming laptop, even when considering the mostly metal build. That finish does also catch prints, so clammy hands beware. And you've guessed it, we have a 14.5-inch 3K IPS panel in a 16:10 aspect ratio with a 165Hz refresh rate and a response time of 3 milliseconds, which will suit most gamers well. The bezels are pretty thin too, in compliance with Asian beauty standards, which helps reduce the overall footprint of the laptop. With a color gamut coverage of 95.4% sRGB and 72.1% DCI-P3, this screen is frankly color accurate enough for most content creation workloads. And with a peak brightness of 400 nits, it will be good for gaming under most lighting conditions except for direct sunlight, even with that matte finish. For speakers, we get a pair of downward-firing speakers that sound like they got a mask on during COVID. Headphones are an option so that your mother doesn't hear you whine like a little baby when Millennia smites you like a cockroach in Elden Ring. Here's a little sound test of the speakers to heal your soul after you die so many times in Dark Souls. Of course, because this is a gaming laptop, we get a 3-zone RGB backlit keyboard that is customizable. The layout and size is pretty good with dedicated media keys on the right as well as a Windows Copilot key to access the AI-powered chat assistant. As for the keys themselves, they are a little mushy, but the rigid deck does help make things feel a lot better. Though if you're an elitist typist, then go away because this is a gaming laptop. The touchpad, on the other hand, get it, is pretty big and tracks quite smoothly with satisfying clicks. As for the holes, because we like lobangs, they gave us quite a few. You get 4 USB ports, 2 Type-A and 2 Type-C, one of which is a Thunderbolt 4 port, a combo audio jack, a HDMI 2.1 port, and a micro SD card slot. And of course, you also get the charging port. The ports are unfortunately placed closer to the front, so it might get in the way of your mouse if you like to flick very far. I am however grateful that they placed them away from the exhaust vents at the back, so I'm not saunaing my hands all day because my palms are sweaty. Wait, Slim Shady cancelled already, right? Nobody can cancel Slim Shady. He cancelled you only got. We also get Wi-Fi 6E, so you can download your games at warp speeds legally if you got good Wi-Fi, and game at lower latencies. On top of that, we get the slightly older Bluetooth 5.3. Not like your devices can support 5.4 also. As for the webcams, because we're not yet talking about OnlyFans, it's 1080p. Nothing special, but it will do the job. That's also what she said. Oi, Anna! This is how the webcam looks and sounds like with background blur on. I just wanna see how beautiful you are. You know that I see it, I know you're the star. Where you go I follow, no matter how far. If life is a movie, then you're the best part. Oh, oh, you're the best part. For the battery, we get a 76 watt-hour battery, which is pretty sizable for a laptop like this. But again, this is a gaming laptop, so you're probably gonna leave it plugged in most of the time anyways. But here are our test results as far as battery consumption is concerned. Though I must say that this huge power brick is super handy for accidentally hitting someone over the head when you lose to them in Valorant. Accidents happen, ma. Anyways, let's move on to thermals and acoustics for those who don't want to be surrounded by hairdryer sound all day. If you are forever alone, you will never hear hairdryer sound anyways. This laptop stays pretty chill while gaming, no matter if you're running it in balanced or turbo mode. I suggest leaving it on balance because it keeps the laptop very quiet compared to turbo. For heavier tasks where the CPU is going to be heavily loaded, like in our ADA64 stress test, I suggest setting the laptop to turbo because it does run a few degrees cooler, despite again the relatively loud fan noise. Finally, let's take a look at actual performance numbers. Starting with synthetic benchmarks, 3Mark scores show us that this new Ultra 9 processor is going to perform about the same as a competition from Team Red, which is great. However, from a pure gaming perspective, it performs about 10% worse than if you had an Ultra 7 CPU and 4070 GPU. From actual gaming tests, I can tell you that this laptop will run older AAA titles like Shadow of the Test Raider just fine up to 1440p. Even slightly newer ones like Ghost Runner 2 or Diablo 4 are gonna run equally as well. However, if it's a newer or graphically more demanding title like Cyberpunk 2077, you best stick to 1080p if you want at least 60 FPS. Of course, it's gonna be overkill for competitive titles like Valorant. If you want the best looking graphics that this laptop can offer, while DLSS is not gonna be super crucial for older games like Shadow of the Tomb Raider, it basically allows you to play at a higher resolution than you'd be able to with demanding titles like Cyberpunk. Like look, 64 FPS with RTX off and 4 more FPS with RTX on. Especially considering how high the pixel density on this smaller 14.5 screen is, you should just turn them on by default. Moving on to productivity benchmarks, now that processors are getting this powerful, the limiting factor here really is with the power limit that brands set them to, along with the cooling solution. Looking at Cinebench R23, a gaming laptop like this is most probably going to let that Ultra 9 processor go to Mars more because it has more thermal headroom compared to a thinner laptop without a discrete GPU. Funny enough, in my writer's own words, doesn't this make gaming laptops better for work than work laptops? Kinda, if you don't mind the extra half than the lousier battery life. For content creators, this CPU and GPU combo, even with that lower end RTX 4060, is going to destroy most laptops with the same CPU without a GPU when it comes to video editing. It's not gonna matter as much for photo editing though. Again, for 3D work, this laptop is gonna be pretty good unless you need more juice when it comes to GPU power. Having a little more RAM might be helpful as well. Finally, let's talk about AI. When it comes to AI performance, while this meteoric processor with its NPU is gonna be pretty good by itself for lighter work with photo editing, that RTX 4060 is gonna help beef it up quite a bit more for heavier work like video editing, especially with software like Adobe that has been the green team's stomping ground for years. To recap, let's take a look at the pros, mess, and cons of the Predator Helios Neo 14. I give this laptop a hashtag cheap buy 8 out of 10. Which other gaming laptop you have that you can hold in one hand like that comfortably for hours? Okay, not hours lah, for minutes, okay? There's just something about a smaller 14-inch gaming laptop that appeals to me. Because in my opinion, good things come in small packages like kittens, babies, hobbits, my wife. Hey, no, it's a compliment! Means after give birth, it is still small, ma? And yes, while I would definitely prioritize the GPU over CPU as far as a gaming laptop is concerned, it still performed pretty admirably for all our tests, so Yeah. Also, a compact laptop like this is just more robust for you to carry around, so you're not so scared of dropping it, you know? Oh, don't worry lah, Acer, if I drop it, I can afford, don't worry. My only complaints would be the pretty meh downward firing speakers and this disproportionately large power adapter. Voila, you see. Otherwise, for the price, I think this is a pretty good option for people who want to buy a gaming laptop but don't want to carry around a huge backpack like a schoolboy because they are all grown up. I mean, you're still a schoolboy, you just won't look like one. That is everything I have to say about the Predator Helios Neo 14. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below and I'll try my best to reply to you. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to like and share, subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit that notification bell, and follow us on Facebook, TikTok and Instagram to see more shenanigans from the Mob House crew. Again, my name is Bowens and I will see you in the next one.